Tony here. You know me from the XJ Talk Show and also Motoroy from xjtalk.com. So be careful when you do this, guys. Look at this as an entertainment, informational only. Use a mechanic if you don't feel comfortable doing this. Make sure you chock your wheels. Use a good lift to raise up the vehicle. You just want to get it high enough so you can get the tire and wheel off. Once up in the air, make sure that you use a jack stand, something that will keep the vehicle up in the air if the jack should fail. If you have access to some air tools, it sure makes tire and wheel removal much simpler, much faster. Not as good a workout though. So there's two bolts that hold the caliper onto the knuckle, and you'll just want to remove those two. They shouldn't be that tight. There is a torque specification. I don't know what it is. I don't over tighten. I don't want to strip or break a bolt. So the caliper slides right out. Those things are about 20 bucks. So, you know, if you wanted to spend about 150, you could replace calipers, pads, and rotors and have it all brand new, or at least the calipers would be rebuilt, but should be like new. It does come with a bit of a coating of grease just so they don't rust up. It's always good to use some brake cleaner to clean them up. I use the blue shop rags to disposable rags to clean that up. Pad removal is very simple. I guess this one is the only one that requires a tool and screwdriver, something to pry that up. You'll want to compress the piston in the caliper because it has come out further as the pads have worn, and you're going to have new pads, much thicker, and you're going to need the room to get the new thicker pads around the new rotor. You can use a C-clamp. I found that special tool at O'Reilly's, I believe, and used it for the first time on this brake repair. So you can see the brake pads are much thicker. These are ceramic, semi-metallic, a little more expensive than what I normally use. And I must say, I have noticed an improved braking performance. Of course, it could be that those other ones were just so bad that anything would have been better, but I think it's better. The caliper just slides back on. You want to put the top of the brake pads in first, and then the bottom slides in. Replace the two bolts that you removed, same bolts. Tighten them down. There's no reason to put them that tight, just snug. You don't want them backing out, of course, but you don't want to put it so much that you're going to break or strip the threads in the knuckle. A good final cleaning on the outside where I had my grimy brake hands on there. Replace the wheel and tire. I like to put the lug nuts in pretty far down, just on the outside chance that I have it cross-threaded. I don't want to use the impact because that's going to mess up a stud very quickly. Remove your safety gear, drop the Jeep back down, and you're done. All you need to do is do the other side. I think this job probably took me about an hour and a half to do. If you've got access to a torque wrench, it's always good to torque the nuts, just to be sure that you don't have rotor warping, or definitely don't want to have the situation where the nuts back off and you lose a wheel.
Hey guys, we have a very special show for you. It's our 100th episode.
Josh and I take a trip down memory lane and talk about the early days of xjtalk.com and how this podcast came into existence.
That's right. I put Tony on the spot and interview him for a change. I also give you some more news about the 2014 Cherokee and talk about some things they're going to be seeing at this year's SEMA show.
And to celebrate episode 100, we have our big, long-awaited Amazon You Bought and What grand prize giveaway. All this and more on episode 100 of the XJ Talk Show.